Hi, my name is Hillary, and I started stuttering when I was about 25 years old after I went on a prescription medication called Topamax to prevent my migraine headaches. One of the side effects was that it made me stutter pretty severely, and the doctor told me to stay on the medicine because it helped my headache, so I did. I went off of the medicine about 6 to 9 months later, and I went off the medication, and much to my dismay, I still stuttered, and I could not speak like I used to before I went on the medicine. So I was hoping that it would just go away on its own, but it didn't. So that's when I realized that I had to do something about it. So I did some research on the internet, and I came across a few different electronic devices. And one of the device that I ended up buying was a small talk from Casa Futura Technologies. And I ordered that device because it looked like the best option for me. There were a few different devices, one that goes in your ear, I think it's called a Speakeasy, and there were a few different electronic devices, but I chose small talk, and the main reason was because of carryover, because the company says that if you practice for so many minutes every day, then in normal conversation, then you will have carryover, and that was really appealing to me, and I thought that it sounded like the best option, and so that is what I went with. And before I got the device, I had a very, very hard time talking. I could not even make a telephone call. Even just simple things like ordering pizza or calling my bank, I couldn't do those things because I had such a hard time talking due to my stuttering. So it really impacted my life in a really significant way. And then I got the device, and it was just like a miracle because I could make phone calls, I could call my bank, I could just do simple everyday things that most people usually take for granted. And then I started practicing with it. Usually I would read to myself about 30 minutes a day, and sometimes I would do it for about an hour every night. And I would practice talking slowly, how they teach you to in the video with the demonstration. And it really amazed me, and it probably only took about a month, and I could definitely notice significant carryover. So I would practice at home, and then I would go to work, or I would go out with my friends, and I would notice that it was working and that I was becoming more and more fluent. And then the more I used it, and the more regularly that I used it, I noticed even more of a carryover. So it's really changed my life because I can talk again, and I do still stutter, but it's not as bad as it used to be, and I usually stutter like when I'm nervous or if I'm telling the story like I am now. But for the most part, I would say that my speech is pretty fluent, and it's because of the device. And I also tried a few different things too. I went to an intensive speech clinic in New York City, and I was there for about 3.5 weeks. And it was a really good program, and I did learn a few things from it, but it was nothing in comparison to the device. And I actually brought the device with me to the speech clinic, and I showed everybody else because it just had worked for me amazingly. And I think that made my teacher a little bit mad, but I didn't care because I wanted to spread the word, just about how it had helped me. And I also went to a speech therapist in my hometown, but I worked with her with the small talk device. And she was able to give me pointers like, well, you need to talk slower, or maybe you should try this, or maybe you should try that. And so I found that the combination from the small talk with just a normal speech pathologist really worked the best for me. And I do still practice with it. I don't, and I probably don't practice as much as I should. And I haven't been practicing the last few days because I've been on vacation. But I still practice regularly, and I still have carryover. So I don't know what else to say.